Okay, we're going to start lesson 7 with Autodesk Sketchbook. And the last time we were together, we ended the halftones. So we're going to start with texture today. So just scroll down to texture, click on the first brush, and I am using Copic colors with this one. I picked green, and we're going to do a few different greens, so this might be a good place to go. So I'm going to pick this G05, that's just kind of a medium green, and we're going to make grass. So just start swiping up from the bottom, kind of high on the sides, and then go down in the middle, and then work our way back up on the sides. Okay, now let's pick a darker green, and tell you what, I'm going to try this to the G29, and do the same thing. Don't go up quite as high. That was actually a little higher than what I wanted it to go. Okay, now let's go and pick a lighter green. That G14 is good. And go over it. And I'm just making single strokes very quickly. So you kind of have a little mixture in there. And if you want to go back with that original green and make a few strokes with it, you can. That just gives some variations there. Okay, so there's our grass. Now we're going to put a background on it. So I want to come over here, click on the plus sign to get me a new layer. I need to move my layer down because my sky is going to be in the background. So I want it on the bottom. So you just put your finger on it and slide it down and then turn it loose. For the background, I want it to be kind of soft. So we're going to scroll all the way back up to the top and click on the airbrush, and I'm going to choose a sky color, just any of these blues or green blues. All right, and I'm going to also hide my grass for a minute. All right, so I'm just going to spray paint it on here. And remember, we don't have to go down as far because we have our grass. And might want a little yellow. And maybe a little orange. Okay, so I'm going to pop my grass back on. And now we've got a beautiful little sky, and we have some grass, kind of like we're sitting in the grass looking up on a beautiful cloudy day. All right, so if you want to save it, remember to come over here and click on this square, and you can either new sketch or gallery. I've saved several of these, so I'm going to throw mine away. But anyway, you can hit new sketch, and I'm going to discard it. If you want to save it, just click save. Okay, so let's go back down to our next tool. And this brush kind of makes about the same. These marks are just a little bit, let me see if I can make it a little bit bigger. They're about the same. Now, if I tap them, they do go in different directions. All right, the next brush, brush 4. Okay, now if I swipe it like this, it's just going to repeat a bunch of ovals because that's the shape that, and it's just brush 4, okay. So You can change the shape, I believe, by clicking on your tool, go into Settings, Advanced, Nib, and right now it's on this shape. If you'll click on this box, you can choose any of these through here. So this is really the brush, what the brush does, and then you can go through here and click on these shapes. I'm going to keep it. What you may want to do when you finish, if you choose another shape, just go in there and set to default. All right, I'm going to swap it back to the library. So that's kind of what that does. Now you can enlarge them. I'm going to choose another little bolder color. You can, I'll try it with my finger. And you can adjust the size and have some small and some large ovals. Okay. Actually, somebody found a student found that you can click up here in this top corner and it clears it. We just kind of learn from each other. All right, the next tool, this is brush 5. All right, so if you go in a circular motion, this is what it looks like. You know, you might could do some mountains or, you know, ocean waves. That's interesting. All right, the next one, brush 6. So if I tap it, let me turn it up a little bit. Yeah, it's not very bright or bold. The next one, go down to the second row. Now I think it was on these. Mine is, there's a difference, and I'm not sure, like right through here between brush 6 and brush 7, I think some of the students, brush 6 may have been down on the second row or vice versa. Okay, so what we did with this, we just did some quick ocean waves. So, you know, you might want to just come across here and then come up and make your ocean wave. Uh-oh. And choose a darker. Kind of get some darkness in there. I think we've had some others that worked well too. And then go with a lighter. And I might even want to make it just a little bit smaller. Not too wild about that. And we did have the tool, it was a brush up here that we did the fireworks with. And that's kind of neat to do some splashes. You might want to even do some white splashes there. Okay. Well, tell you what. Now, scroll back down. And we're on this one, brush 8. I think I need a little brighter color. Now this is just repeating a shape, but this is it's kind of a blurred look. if you wanted, I guess if you wanted something to be kind of, have some shape to it, but look kind of dreamy, this might be the one. Encaustic painting kind of looks like this. This is where they use beeswax, and they can add a color to it, and they paint on with it, and sometimes they'll layer stuff under it and then put the beeswax over it, so it's kind of like you're looking, you look through the wax to see the things in the background. That's interesting. That's an art I would like to try. All right, and this was fun in class. This is camo. So when we think about camo, I usually think the woods. So you have leaves that are browns, different shades of brown. Then you have trees that have your grays. You might have a little green, and you're probably gonna have some black. You know, anytime we go out in nature, the black and the white is there. You know, the highlights, there's white, and you know, in your dark areas, there's black there. So don't forget to put that in your paintings. So what we're going to do is I'm going to pick a brown. I want to try to do a light brown and a dark brown. So any of these browns, like E49 or 59, 79, 89, those are good. Okay, and I have found that this is just easiest with my finger. You know, I don't want to hit it too many times. So that's good. And let's pick a lighter brown. I may click up on these browns. Nope. Tell you what, how about 57? That's a good one. Okay, so I touched it like 3 or 4 times. So now let's go to the greens. And this G99 at the bottom, that's a pretty dark green. I think I'll just hit that like 3 times. And then a little bit of that. And let's go down to the grays and do a dark gray. And then a lighter gray. And then I want a black at the very bottom. Okay, so that's good. I want it to where I have some white in the background, because we're going to add some background color to it. So, all right, move over here. And I'm going to slide this down. And I'm going to pick, let's see, that sometimes they like pink camo. Girl, I know girls do. So let's click the fill color, and I'm just going to click, nope. There we go. So there's your pink camo. And then you can just, right now, you can just click through and pick different colors. Orange camo. So there's orange. Blue. That's kind of neat. I don't think it would help you blend in out in nature, but it's pretty. Try blue. And I'm going to go down in here and just click on the black and see what a black background looks like. So that's neat right there. Okay, so that's how you make camo. So if you want to save your camo, you can go right up here, click, and hit New Sketch, Create, and then just save it, and it'll go to your gallery. I'm going to discard it. And let's go to the next one. charcoal. So charcoal, when you rub it on paper, and you have to use a special kind of paper, it's not going to cover every little bit of your paper. So you'll put some on there, and then you have to go get like a smudge tool, which I'm going to come down here and just grab one of these. And then you can just kind of smudge it. And you'll have areas that you might want to be a little darker than others. But that's just, you kind of blend it and work with it. Oh, this is going to be a mess. Pop up here, please. There we go. All right, so let's go back up to hatching. So hatching is just where you make lines that are parallel to each other. And if you make marks long enough on this, then it'll start to cross them. So that's cross hatching, when they cross. And you can really use this maybe in even small areas when you're trying to shade. A lot of artists do this. And it just adds that extra little detail in those little places that you wouldn't expect to have detail. Alright, this is Thorny. It is very light. I'm not a fan. I like to, you know, if I'm going to mark it, I really would like for it to be a little bit bolder. Now I'm touching with my finger here, and I do get a little bit more color shining through. That one would be, to me, it doesn't look really thorny. It looks more like a bird's nest. You know, if you wanted to do a bird's nest or hay or something like that. Okay, this one is Dotted 2, and we're going to make some sand with this. I'm going to pick a brown, like a dark brown. I'm going to do this E59. And I'm just going to paint it on there. All right, there's some sand. Okay, now I might even pick another, just kind of go with it. So now I want to pick a background. This E13 is good. And I want to go up and get my brush that I really like in Legacy. Right there. And I'm going to add the layer and go ahead and put it under it. And I'm going to paint, and I think I need to turn that color down just a little bit. That was a little dark. I like that color, but I think it needs to be turned down just a little bit. And so I'm going to add this on here. And, you know, it's okay if we have some darker spots through there. And that just kind of adds to it. I can go back down and choose that again. And just go over it a little bit more. And I have some sand. The picture that we did at school, we went back up here and we, in traditional, and we picked brush 2. And what we're going to do is just make a quick little cactus. Just choose a cactus color. And I'm not sure if I've got this turned up enough. And I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to add a layer. So I'm working on it. And I'm going to go ahead and hide these. And for the cactus, just, yeah, it needs to be a little bit bigger. Just come up and kind of fork it. You know, they don't have to be perfect. And then you might want to have a smaller one over here. And you can zoom in, and I like to add a little more to it. Okay, I'm going to pretend like the sun is going to be like over from this direction up here at the top. So it's coming this way. So I want to have a little bit of shading or darkness on that side of my cactus. And then also with this one, it's a little wide. Okay, and if the sun is coming from that direction, then we might want a little bit of a shadow. I'll tell you what, I'm going to wait on that. And let's get a brighter green and come up here and touch it on the bright side. You know, you don't have to make a solid line. You just kind of add just a little bit. This is what sets it apart. Uh-oh. I didn't want that color. Oh, no, I wanted a green. And the same thing over here with this one. I'm just kind of touching it up a little bit. All right. And I do want to, where's that hard eraser? Right there. Take that off. So I've got my cactuses there, and the last thing I need, and really this needs to be, I need some a desert sky. So let's move that all the way down. Hold it. If you hold it down and it doesn't turn, just pick your finger up and try it again. Okay, so I'm going to hide that. And let's go back up and get our spray paint again. And let's spray paint us a desert sky. We can do this so fast. And grab a little blue. That's not, I didn't choose a blue. Maybe just a little yellow in there somewhere. I did say the sun was kind of coming from this area, so. All right, so now it's time to pop everything on there. Boom. Quick little desert scene. Okay, so if you want to save it, same thing. I'm not going to save it because I already have some. And let's go right here. And this is hatch, and this is it turned all the way up. So if I turn it down a little bit, it kind of looks like that. Probably be easier if I had a bolder color. Okay, so when you tap it, it's just straight lines. I actually like that, I think, better than the one we had before. Okay. HR. Now when you click on it, I'm going to blow this up a little bit. It's just kind of like little scribbles. But I was watching an artist on YouTube the other night, and he was drawing a picture off of a picture of a girl, and along her hairline he used this tool, and of course it was really small, but he just used that to fill in where her hair was, and I mean it worked perfectly. So I was glad I watched that. If you get a chance to get on YouTube and watch other videos, watch them. People using Autodesk Sketchbook, because there's a lot of good videos out there. So this is cross hatching. Now if I pull it, drag it across there, it's just going to drag that pattern. And the last one, scratches. Let's kind of zoom in. Let's see what that looks like. So if you wanted to do hay, haystack, this might be great. We turn it up a little bit. Okay. So that is going to sum up texture. I know I went through it quickly, but you can pause it, because we actually took like 2 days, 2 different class periods to do this, because we stopped and we drew pictures and experimented. It takes a little bit longer when there's a whole classroom full of people. So the next video will be on shape, and then the next will be on splatter and globe. Alrighty, keep plugging and enjoying yourself. This is fun. It's a good way to get your mind off of thinking about anything. You're just relaxing and just creating.